obviously David isn't here, so...
Yeah, that's all right, he'll still see it.
Yeah, he'll
so
still see it on the thing, yeah.
And he'll appreciate that.
So, again, like Bart said, thank you very much for your time and giving us the opportunity to work with you on this project. So, crack on. It'll be hard for a lot without you there, but here we go. So, food is a big inspiration. Besides me, I love my food. So I thought it was a big inspiration to think, oh man, food. Well, there's so much scope to go from here. Or I could go for designs with food, or I could go with tradition. But I thought, as an audience, people love food, and people want to know what they're having straight away. So knowing what it is like the first thing they see. And if you want that on the design, then they're going to get enticed in straight away. So I thought, get some drawings of some food, and then pop it on the packaging. Pop it on the packaging, and you have a certain design that will pop up right forward. Initial ideas came with, as I said, all the food and everything on the boxes. Each side may be to do with the different products. Or as I had another initial idea with having another illustration to go with the Saucy Salsa lady, maybe even a male version. But I think just for the sake of enticing the audience, I stuck with the food idea. So, as the main mock-up design, it was to be initially a 4-high stack of jars. However, that wouldn't work. I tried to test and it wouldn't work. It would just topple over, and that's just not good because you can get stuff everywhere in the shelves. It can cause huge problems. Yeah, and exactly. You're going to lose lots of money if that was to happen. So, in the end, decided to go for the 2 jars. They would look a hell of a lot better. Now, colour schemes. Colour schemes was another big thing. Obviously, you need to have a big connection to the items at hand. So, the items in the jars. So, looking at the colours from the designs that David had given us from the jars. Looking at what flavours would go with what, with the design. So, in the end, these are all the designs I had. Red and black. This all had a relation to the lid, and then the box itself, the jar itself. Sorry. Then you got the black and yellow like the lid. I just think that was a bit too much just for packaging. And then you got the green, the orange. Initially, in the end, I actually went for a yellow. That I think would be better for if it was 2 jars for the parsley and coriander ones, so the smoother sort of flavours, whereas like a red and yellow would go much better for the paprika and the chili and garlic. So in the end, I wanted also, with obviously as I said, the food, I wanted more of a relation. So what I thought, why not cut the design onto the box and have something inside, another box inside, just for that reason, just to show the contrast of colours you could get through the design. However, when looking at that, it didn't work so much for me. The contrast in colours didn't seem to work. So, and just having another box in the box just became expensive. So I think keeping to one would be much better. And not only that, if you have the jars with the cutouts behind it, you then get a better understanding of what you're going to see inside. It will look much better seeing the products you're going to get. And so, as I said, they've got the different flavours, got the different designs, parsley, coriander, chili and garlic, and paprika / pepper. So, final choices in colour were those 2. And when coming to get the paper for the box, I got nice card, nice thin card, however it can hold it very well. I've got the colours of cherry and the Dresden yellow, that's the colour there. I thought they looked really, really nice. This is where I ran into a problem, a big problem. When it came to printing it, when I wanted to print it for the mock-up, their printers weren't working. Always a problem. So in the end, I had, so what it was going to be, it was A1 sheets, lay more than one design on there, print it through, have more scope to work on. That thing comes out. So, in the end, I had to compromise. Unfortunately, it is not the best thing I've ever made in the world. This is the sort of thing it would want to be looking at.
Yeah, very nice.
And as a product, obviously it's too small as well,
Yeah,
because
still,
it's bigger.
it's a
If you want to have a hole, it's not the best thing, I do apologise for
No, I
that.
think it's a good
Um,
idea though, it looks good too.
So, you've got the cuts for the shape of the chilies. Obviously, when it comes to the proper jars and the proper card, it would look much
Yeah, yeah, of
better
course,
with a better
yeah.
colour.
But it gives you a sense, it gives you the idea, and that's very nice as well.
Yeah, so and then if you had the product inside, you'd be able to see all the lovely flavours of everything inside. You'd be enticing them instantly into the product. So, what was another good thing? If you don't want for the cart for anything to rip off the design, you can pop acetate probably back and behind it so it won't rip anything, and you've got nothing bashing against it, which will keep it safe, which is another big thing. I'll just go back, sorry. I think the obviously the big selling point is you being able to see the product through the packaging you
Yeah,
got.
which I think is a good idea, because you'll get the clash of colours all through there.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
quite a good idea.
And you'd
too,
have
yeah.
two separate
Yes,
parts.
yeah.
However, also another one could be if for the new ones you're going to create, you could have a black and red, deep core colours for the heat flavour. You could have all completely nice, vibrant colours just to express the burst of flavour. But obviously, that's when it does come about. Sorry, right.
I can see, what you're doing here, and I think seeing it in a larger scale,
Yeah, I
all done
think-
up, had
I
40
think
pound
it's
would be
just-
very effective as well. So, yeah, no,
It was the
it's good
problem
too.
with printing.
Yeah,
obviously,
sometimes that
isn't it?
happens,
Yeah.
obviously deadlines and things like that, but I can see it looks good too.
Yeah.
We're going to move into like key questions.
Yeah, of
Then
course.
I think we'll approach it in the same way.
Yes, yes.
So, do you feel that the relationship with the jars
A part of the
is
bag,
adequate? Is
yeah.
Connects,
Yeah.
fits?
I think it does. I think it's a nice design. The red's really nice with the red and the black. It's nice and simple. It's got the food bits on the front, and I like the holes that go through that you can see. The only thing we'd have to think of where would we need the nutritional contents on the outside of the box? That's what we have to
Yeah,
check.
of course, obviously much bigger, you have a lot
Yeah, you
lot
have
more
more room,
for,
yeah.
or it could leave a space blank at the back.
We might have to there might have to be something like that back, one side maybe
Yeah.
for all that kind of stuff. You'd have to put the barcode thing. So we'd have to have a look at that.
Yeah.
But I think the actual simplicity of it is really nice as well. It's simple, but it catches, and again, I think it's because you see in the logo that it always helps too, doesn't it? It's all part of the
Yeah.
brand. But it, again, really
I
nice
think
creation.
the problem was, I think the white does it makes it look not as good as it should
So
be.
having like the yellow on the
Having
inside.
a yellow on the inside, or
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the card that would be red
That would be-
around it, you wouldn't have the white showing where the cuts are and everything. You wouldn't have a
Yes.
problem with that.
Yeah, it's just it's the way it's happened. Well, no, again, I think there's room for growth with this one as well. So I think it's really
There's
good.
definite room
Yeah.
for improvement. I know there is.
But I think it's very good as well. I think it's fantastic too.
One question that I'd have about this one is from the outside, I'm not, and maybe it goes for Bart's as well, I'm not quite sure what it is. So
Right,
I
okay.
get that it's a sauce,
That's an idea. Yeah, that's true.
but I'm not quite getting like, right, you need to put this on some food, like even if there's some text explaining that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
getting
that's
connection
true.
to more
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the food.
Yeah, you would need to have it. So a little bit of the
This one's
writing.
got traditional Spanish recipe for meat, chicken, fish, potatoes, salads and dipping. It says
yeah,
it on it.
Yeah. So that would be good to have that on there, wouldn't it? I think that would be good to have it on there.
It needs
Yeah.
maybe more reference to what you're going to do with it.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you happy with the colour scheme?
think the
So
colour
this one's
scheme's
for the
great.
paprika
And chili
the
and
chili
garlic.
and
Yeah, I
garlic.
think that's really good.
Do you think it's wise to put chili and garlic and paprika in one box,
A lot
and
of people
then
go for that, yes, yeah.
why that combination is my question, when you could have combined it with any of the others, and if you're stuck then with 2 boxes.
Yeah, they might not want to buy them, that's the only thing, because people sometimes don't. Sometimes people do buy the chili and garlic and paprika,
Some people buy the
but
mix of
sometimes
the
they
two.
want to mix them.
But
Yeah.
you don't want to manufacture every single possible variant.
It might be then not putting the writing, the flavours, because then that dictates what the person has to buy. And the person might not like that. Maybe not putting the writing of the
Are you suggesting that
sauces.
you would not pre-pack them?
No, what I would do is I would pre-pack some, but also it's the transporting, having to take it to places and things like that. I'd have to have them flat as well, and I'd have some pre-packed, but also at the day, people may also want to buy some mixtures. You know, you can say, well, would you like some of these? But you know, people might say, I want to buy that for a present.
Yeah.
So can you put in?
I think that's the
chili
difference
and garlic?
between the you know, Bart's one here, which
Yes,
is kind of
yeah.
saying, Bart's going, right, you can
You put
choose-
your own
put
in
that
there.
on,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, are you saying people choose it or not?
Well, I could put it, I
Or
could
is
just
it
put
really
some in.
packed?
I haven't answered this question, sorry. Can you make it simpler?
Where have you been, Bart?
I'm listening, but I cannot answer the question.
Where is this being packed? In the factory or on the shop floor?
In the factory.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would have some sauces already put in there, but generally, so obviously for the shops, once we get to the shops, it would have to be clear as to what was in there. For when they're buying at events, then people can choose what they want in there. So this is the difficulty, isn't it? I suppose with the 2, does it limit what people, you know, if it's already
When
in
you've got
there,
a box of 4,
you've
you're kind of saying you're getting the 4 flavours,
Yes,
and there you
yeah,
go. It's
yeah.
maybe simpler.
possibly as well. Or some people do just buy two chili, but that's hard because in a way that is something that we've got. That's a bit of a conundrum there, isn't it? Because then you are kind of dictating to the person what they can buy. But then some people may think, oh no, actually I like.
I mean, I think the idea of, you know, you could be really strong and go, right, I'm going to have
Just those 2 flavours.
the
three,
kind of rich, peppery
Yes,
ones,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
the cooler ones.
Yes. Yeah.
It simplifies things, which is what you've done.
Yeah, which is good as well.
And I think the question is that, how do you feel about that?
Is that alright with you, or
Well,
would you want?
I think that's good as well. The proof would be, do people buy it that way? But certainly I think that's a good idea, and I think that some people do like 2 of one and 2 of another. And this, I like the writing on here. Generally, chili and garlic and paprika people do buy. Parsley and coriander people do buy as well. So again,
It's quite plain.
but
Do
I
you
like
think?
that.
Yeah. Do you
I
think
like the simplicity
the
of that.
pattern texture for brand coherence should stay on there?
I like the plain.
Okay.
I like
Good
the
feedback.
plain, yeah, because I like the plain, I think it's still simple and it's still Spanish, but it's also got an elegance to it as well, hasn't it? And I think you don't need the backdrop on it because you put it in the design. So I think that's actually, I think it's nice as it is. The thing we've got to look at is obviously the paprika and chili garlic, and that actually looks good like that, paprika and chili and garlic. We could just do a few little ones and see if they go, you know, if we did.
Do you not think that it needs to say there are 2 pots in this,
I
and
think
you
it
will
would
get
naturally- I think
paprika
the
and
size
chili
and
and garlic?
everything.
People would be able to see, if they see
Yeah.
chili and garlic and paprika, and also once they
They'll
see
be able to
through,
see it through.
they'll be able to see the 2, yeah, they'll be able to see 2 through there.
They won't really see.
No, they won't
no.
say it all, will they?
You
So
can't
they-
trust that they will see that.
You've
inside.
got to tell them, haven't you, people,
Yeah.
you've got to tell them. So I suppose that could be then, maybe on this back page, or back side, not having these things here, and having the information about what it is, what's in there, and the barcode, things like that, and telling people what's actually in there, you know, and how you can use it with, you know, what we've got here, the traditional Spanish recipe for
Yeah, cool.
2 jars, or we've got jar of paprika, jar of.
Is there enough history, tradition,
There's not
fiesta,
on that one so much,
flamenco?
but it says a
Canary
lot in its simplicity.
Yeah.
Sometimes actions speak louder than words, don't they?
Okay.
Sometimes, you know. So I think it actually says a lot in its simplicity, and I think that's what this ultimately is. It's a simple peasant's fare kind of simple sauce of the land. Yeah, I think it's quite nice, and actually it's quite Spanish. You just red and black. A lot of thinking of my town I've got at home, which is red and black. you've got the red and you've got the black bull, and then, and then it's just red and black. So yeah, that actually can be very Spanishy, red and black. They're good colours.
So it's going to capture the kind of the expats.
Oh yeah, yeah.
audience.
So very good as well. What was the other one you've got back there?
No, that was meant to be the inside one. I didn't.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
too. Oh, that's
No,
half
no,
which
the
one.
green and
The, oh yeah,
white
this
one I
was this
saw.
was another one that I had. I'm not really proud of it, to be brutally honest. It's just
Okay, but
one of
still.
the
Yeah, it's well, it gives you an idea then, doesn't
the,
it?
ori-
And how
the
you can
original
do it
colour.
to-
The original colour of the paper would be a yellow.
Yes,
Sort
yeah.
of vibe, and that would have been inside
Yes,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
However, I think just
yeah, I think,
for the sake of too much and money,
yeah, exactly.
it's
I think it's
better.
fine in itself without having anything inside it. But again, that's nice too, but no, I think that is much more, I think again, in terms of the brand and the image, I think that's captured it quite well as well.
I think it would draw less attention to the product if I had.
It would, yeah.
If I changed the design, maybe, but still with the fact of pricing.
Yeah,
If I was going for this product, I would probably print the logo slightly embossed, so there's a slight texture to it. I'll also make that ink shinier than anything else
yes,
that's on there.
that would be really
It
important.
kind of needs
yeah,
it
yeah.
needs
To
exploration
stand
of
out,
those
yeah.
kind of printing processes, which is
Yeah.
part of the unit.
Yeah, that would be good, yeah. Yeah.
We need to move on. Thank you
Okay,
so much,
thank
Ollie.
you. Brilliant.
Thank you very much.